Hello there, this is all to do with the croquembouche today, and what I'm going to show you is pretty much 7 stages of making a croquembouche. Croquembouche is generally used at French weddings, and it's a highly prized piece of pastry. It's generally filled with a crème pâtissier, but the crème pâtissier can be flavoured in all sorts. You can flavour with chocolate, orange, liqueurs, anything you like really, and it's generally dipped and finished off with caramel. But today what I'm going to do is actually dip it in chocolate, simply because we English love chocolate, and the simple fact is it's a damn sight easier to make than the caramelised one. But in a future edition I'll probably do the caramelised one as well, so you can see that. But today we're going to do croquembouche. It's going to have 7 stages. It's going to be decorated with proper chocolate, not the baker's chocolate, not the stuff that you really dislike, but it's the real nice, sharp, shiny, crunchy chocolate. It's going to be filled with an orange and chocolate crème pâtissier, and it's going to be decorated with chocolate roses, but modelling roses, and all the way down. And at the end of that, hopefully we'll have a chocolate croquembouche. Right, we talked about tempering chocolate a while ago, and this is the actual process of doing it. I've melted the chocolate off in a water bath, and for this you really do need a thermometer. But if you buy a small little digital thermometer and just pop it in, and you need to consistently stir it over boiled water, not boiling water. So fill your pan with water, bring it to the boil, put your inner pan into the water, off the heat. So in other words, it's just hot water and not boiling. If you have boiling water, then simply it will get too hot and you will burn the chocolate. Then consistently and constantly just stir it round all the time until it becomes a liquid, a really fine liquid. Now I've got a sugar boiling thermometer here. My other one's packed in for the day, but hey ho. And looking at that, I'm looking at 46, 47, 48 degrees. I'm quite happy with any of those. Just keep stirring it around. Once you get to the right temperature, take it out of the water, because today what I'm going to be doing is the actual seeding method. That's about 44, just creeping up to 46, and I'll be pretty happy with that, I think. That's now melted all the fats out. What I'm going to do now, simple, take it out of the water bath, put it on a cloth so it doesn't slip and drip all over the place. Then I've got the chocolate here. I'm using Colette's, so it's fine buttons of real chocolate. If you buy bars, if you do Bourneville chocolate, milk chocolate, dark chocolate, doesn't matter, white chocolate, you might buy bars. Simply just chop it up fine on a chopping board. No water involved, no grease involved, just chop it up to get it to about the same size. Okay, so I've got all that melted. Now I'm going to bring the temperature down to using temperature by adding an already tempered chocolate into it, and that will seed it.
Now tempered chocolate can be anything you buy off the shelf, basically.
Yes,
right.
All tempered.
Right, okay.
All tempered.
Right.
So I'm just going to throw all those chocolate nibs in. Remember, these are not baking chocolate, and these are not what you call chocolate chips that you buy for cookies, because they're they've got an awful lot of cocoa salt in them. So throw a good it depends on how much you're using. I'm using an awful lot here for the simple purpose I want to show you, but if you're using a small amount, then just add a small amount. It's really in ratio, and you need to stir that around. What will happen, two things will happen. The chocolate that you put in will melt, because it's going in to a temperature of 48 degrees, and the chocolate it goes into will cool. And so what's actually happening is you are creating a tempered chocolate through a seeding method. So all I've got to do now is keep adding until this chocolate returns now to 31 degrees. And it'll take a time. Don't think it takes 2 minutes, it doesn't. It takes a wee time, and don't add any more chocolate until that is fairly melted out.
And you shouldn't cool it in a fridge, it should be naturally cooled.
Should be naturally cooled like this. Don't cool it in a fridge, there's too much moisture. You can add too much of the seeding chocolate, And if you put too much in towards the latter stages of cooling, you'll just end up with a chocolate full of lumps. And then you've got to temper the whole thing all over again.
Okay.
Right, that's completely melted out. So I'm quite happy now. I can add a load more chocolate to it. One, I did about 4 handfuls last time. I'm adding 3 handfuls this time. There is a huge amount of chocolate here. There's no way I'm going to use all that chocolate. So we've created and finished the seeding method. We've put in the seed until the whole seed has melted, and then it's started to lower in temperature, so consequently it gets more viscous, thicker, and pretty much the temperature of this now is 31 degrees. So that's the chocolate tempered. If I've got loads of it, the way to keep it tempered is to make sure it stays at 31. If it starts to cool down, it'll thicken. As it thickens, simply put it back in the warm water for a very short period of time and stir it up until it comes back to the same consistency, or 31 degrees, then remove it and keep it at that. Just keep doing that all the time. Once you allow that to thicken, it's gone. You know, really thicken till it's hard, it's gone, and you've got to start all over again. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to do some sort of almost a lily effect to the bottom. So what I've done is I've just cut some isosceles triangle shapes. I don't know whether you even can see that, to be honest. Probably not. But there's isosceles triangle shapes there. I don't know whether you can see that.
Yep, I just see them, yeah.
Out of acetate. And all I'm going to do is take a palette knife, and these are going to be for the bottom. Take a little bit on the palette knife and just allow it to cover that isosceles shape. Don't worry about the chocolate that you're wasting, because as I said before, you'll simply come back to that again. So as well, you can do it on your hand if you so wish, but it gets a bit mucky. So on it goes. And don't worry that it's coming over the sides of the isosceles triangle, because all I'll simply do is turn it around and cut that bit off, extra bit off. I'm simply going to put this in the cold room outside, and it'll set quite happily. You can see there it's starting to set already. If it's well tempered, it will set quite quickly once it hits a cold area. I don't want it to fully set. What I want it is to curl it, and for that I've got so peel it off like that, comes away, and then I'm just putting it in a gutter.
So that's almost straight away, that, isn't it?
Not far into it, and you've just got to be careful that the whole thing doesn't set off too quickly, because then, as you can just see, the chocolate then sticks to it. So I've got to turn it over so I can see where it's sticking, and then take it off. So all that chocolate there, don't worry about it, but don't put it back in there. So this is only for decorative purposes. You don't have to do this. It's just quite a nice idea to do it, just to make it look really nice.
It looks effective, let's face it.
Yeah.